gets in the way of me taking care of my family.
Brains before bullets, right?
We'll do it your way, VP.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Nam's YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another TV show review. And this time we are starting all the way over with the original OG, Sons of Anarchy, season 1. I'm a fan of Sons of Anarchy. I was a huge fan. This is me coming off of my introduction to a show called The Shield, which I know Kurt Sutter used to write. I know Sean Ryan created that show, but The Shield, it's a lot of that reminiscing in this show, and it's even certain little Easter eggs in this show that were a part of The Shield, as far as like the Niners, which is a gang that was introduced in The Shield, and I think some other little elements are there that kind of like makes this kind of a connected world as far as The Shield and the world of Sam Crow, aka Sons of Anarchy. But one of the main reasons that I'm going back to review this is I just got done with Mayans. I like what Mayans did. I like the way they tried to transition and do something different outside the original show, Sons of Anarchy, being that it was a spinoff. I think the problem kind of came in for me is when Kurt Sutter was not doing any more writing or having anything else to do with the show, and you can kind of see where they was almost throwing too much on the plate, and especially going into this final season of Mayans, where it seemed like they had so much more that they needed to say, but they needed another season for it. Because to be honest, if Mayans would have ended the season with what happened in this final season, I would have been like, oh, I'm ready, like, let's go. Because there would have been a lot of just surprises and good things coming out of there if they would have went through with this, if this was the original idea and they were supposed to be doing a season 6 or something. With all this being said, man, let's go ahead and jump into this. We are introduced to Jax Taylor. He is the vice president of a motorcycle club called Sam Crow, Sons of Anarchy, coming out of Charming, California. All of this, somewhat of this first episode is kind of based around the things that he is dealing with, coming into being a father. But not only that, it's him coming across these, I don't know if you would call them diaries, but it's like these archives that his father had left behind once he's looking for some stuff, I think, for his baby. And it kind of gets him in a mind frame of kind of seeing things in a different light for the motorcycle club Sam Crow, because right now they're in the business of running guns. They basically deal guns, and they end up dealing with a situation in the beginning of this episode with the group called the Mayans. Of course, just once again, that's the whole thing with the spinoff or whatever. But anyway, this is our introduction to the Mayans as far as Sons of Anarchy or whatever. This is the pilot episode. You even got Alvarez showing up in this first episode, letting you know just how long Alvarez been around as far as the Mayans and Sons of Anarchy. But the Mayans end up pretty much coming in and stealing some guns and destroying some guns, because the thing about what Sam Crow is doing, they only deal guns with the Niners as far as this black gang out of California, and not the Mayans. And you got this whole situation with the Niners and Mayans kind of having this little gang war or whatever, and you got Sam Crow pretty much being the front runners as far as the people that's delivering the weapons behind the situation that they got going on as far as this little gang war or whatever. A lot that was going on in this first episode, though, is just giving you an introduction to Jax and just what type of person he is, especially with the situation he's dealing with becoming a father, and the fact that his child is actually a premature baby because of the fact that the mother is on drugs and she ends up overdosing. So this whole introduction to Sam Crow, including Clay and everybody who's pretty much a part of this crew, is showing you this type of like mob type of style motorcycle club, almost gang, aka mob, mafia, any way you want to put it. But it's showing you how close-knit they are, and it's showing you how tactical they are with the way they handle certain things. They got cops on payroll, like they are prepared for everything. The thing is though, Jax is kind of the way he's looking at things in this first episode, and the way Clay is looking at things, because it's almost with him trying to say he wants to get out of the out of the gun running game, because of everything that's going on with law enforcement, ATF, and the situations they're having with the recent chaos with the Mayans and having that little situation with them blowing up the weapons or whatever. Basically, all this attention is going to start to come, and they already got situations going on where, hey, while we already got our eggs stacked up, let's go ahead and just do something else that can keep us kind of under the radar. Not only that, he's kind of getting all these ideas in his head too, because of him reading these memoirs from his father or whatever. And that is really interesting thing being that it's kind of the situation with his mama, Gemma, played by my girl, Married with Children. But the situation with her is basically like she doesn't really want him get these ideas in her head either. And that's kind of where we get in this little thing going on where it's like, what really originally happened with his father, or whatever, and that is a really, really, really good mystery somewhat throughout the season, on top of other things that's going to be happening, which I will be talking about in individual episodes. One thing I will be doing is if this episode, depending on how y'all react to it in the views or whatever, I'll continue to do episode by episode, or I just watch the whole season and do a whole season review. And y'all can let me know if y'all would like it that way. But I just be feeling like it's certain details in each episode that y'all would like to hear out or whatever, pertaining to even this one. But outside of them having the situations with the Mayans and them with the guns, it's this whole situation now with the pretty much the obligations they have for the gangs that they have to deliver the guns to. Me and one of the main ones, the Niners, and now that they done had this situation, they gotta kind of pretty much postpone that business arrangement, and now they got to deal with that situation. Outside of that, we get introduced to another character called Opie, man, another one of my favorite characters, man. And for the longest, I did not know the guy that's playing Opie was off Remember the Titans. I didn't know for the longest, man. But Opie is an individual who's part of the motorcycle gang who actually just got out of doing 5 years, 5 hard years. And it don't really go too deep into what happened or whatever, but we do find out later on in the episodes or whatever. But it's what they are pretty much needing Opie to do. But Opie got a situation because after he did these 5 years, he pretty much made a promise to his wife and pretty much to the family that he's going to stay away from situations like that that could get him possibly locked up again for even longer time or even killed. But now you got the whole thing with the obligation of the club. Once again, they go into this type of like mob ties or whatever where, yo, we actually do something, you know what I'm saying? You got to be down. You got to be ready to ride no matter what the consequences is of the situation. And that's kind of the dilemma that Opie's dealing with, being that he is trying to keep his promise, but at the same time, he does want to be out there. Like, this is him. That's the type of person he is. He don't want to be doing these odd jobs or whatever. He want to be with the motorcycle clubs because that's the type of person he is or whatever. So, once again, being introduced to these certain characters that you can immediately latch on to, that was one of the things that really drove me into continuing to be engaged with the show. But not only that, it's showing you that brotherhood. Not knowing like the shit that's gonna go down going towards the season or whatever, each episode, but that introduction is showing you this brotherhood, and you kind of like, yo, I want to ride with these guys. I want to join their gang. I want to join their motorcycle club. Or like, this seems like, damn, man, shit don't seem that bad. Yeah, but it's all these individual characters where we get introduced to Bobby. You talking about Tig, you talking about Chibs, but right now in this first episode it's more so Jax and everything he's dealing with his baby and with the motorcycle club as far as Clay and the obstacle he has to deal with these guns and getting them back to the Niners or whatever. So as far as this whole introduction or whatever, as far as the Sam Crow in this first episode, it definitely was one of the ones that made you say, yeah, y'all got my attention, because this is that Mr. FX when it was doing what it was doing with this extra, I wouldn't say extra violent shows, but as far as it damn near being the HBO of cable network television at that time. You got to think about it. FX was the introduction of like having nudity actually on TV, you know, with commercials or whatever playing. When it came to the Shield, shows like Nip Tuck, and even coming into a show like Sons of Anarchy with having all that extra violence and showing all of that, then you know, this was way before the days of The Walking Dead on AMC and whatever. But I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, man, our introduction to Sam Crow and Jax Teller as one of our main characters is definitely something that I was interested in. It's not only that, it's kind of this little mystery of a relationship that he has with this individual named Tara that works at the hospital, because you can see they have some type of history, but it's not really saying anything yet, and you can just see they have something that's there, but they don't really speak on it at first, being that she is trying to make sure this baby is straight or whatever, but you can tell they definitely got some history. Once again, outside of that, though, it's just everything that's going on with them trying to make this play as far as with the guns and the Mayans and Jax and really Clay and him seeing if Jack's head is all the way in as far as them doing what they got to do as far as moving the motorcycle club forward, or if Jax wants to go in a different direction, and not only him going in a different direction, but taking the motorcycle club in a different direction. But yeah, man, this first episode was definitely one of my, I ain't gonna say one of my favorite episodes out of the season 1, but as far as this being an introduction, it definitely got me on board. But y'all let me know, how did y'all feel about this first episode of season 1 of Sons of Anarchy? If y'all are fans of Sons of Anarchy, and if y'all are not, you definitely need to get on here, and this will get you leading up into Mayans or whatever. Outside of that, depending on, like I said, how this video does and how y'all respond to it, I'll be continuing to doing episode by episode reviews of season 1 of Sons of Anarchy, and it ain't gonna be like long apart. I'll probably be doing them like a day after, or maybe 2 days after at the longest, and I'll be continuing to do that, leading all the way up into the final season of Sons of Anarchy. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know I upload new videos. Other than that, we out.